Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are wonderful today. It is a wonderful Thursday. It feels like Friday. Welcome to our Supplier Matchup session for today. My name is Paulina Viermeyer, and I'm your chairperson. So I just wanted to start off quickly with just a word of encouragement, because I know everyone is struggling in one way or another, and it's not always easy to find the silver lining. So Winston Churchill said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." And I hope that you always remember that you are enough, valued, and exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't feel like it. So let's get started. On our program, we have CBRE Accelerate and AFMS Group. For those of you who joined our previous supplier matchup session, our structure has slightly changed. So we will interview each buyer and have individual Q&A sessions with each buyer. And afterwards, we will have an SMME engagement session where we will allow all of you to introduce yourselves briefly and who you are and what it is that you do. So please stick with us until the end. So let's get started. Please allow me to introduce our first professional for the day, Nomfundo, representing CBRE Procurement. Nomfundo, if you could please switch on your camera and unmute for us.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning, Nomfundo. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How is everyone?
Wonderful.
Indeed, it does feel like a Friday today.
It does. With the long weekend coming, I think this is a great way to end the week.
Yes.
Are you at least nice and warm? It is freezing. The winter came with a hit.
Yeah, I am. I try to warm up every part of me.
Feel sometimes it goes down into my bones and there's nothing that can warm me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Nomfundo, if you don't mind, can you introduce yourself, your organization, and just give us an insight to the procurement process?
Okay. As I think mentioned, my name is Nomfundo Kuhlase, and I'm a procurement assistant for CBRE Facilities Management. I guess most of the people, they know my company as Accelerate Services, but it's CBRE Accelerate Services, so it's a joint venture. So I'm in the facilities division. We have properties management, we have real estate, and we also have Accelerate Services. That's our cleaning division. That's where the soft services are performed, the pest control, the hygiene. So those services, we do self-perform them. But I'm in the facilities division. That's where we manage facilities.
Oh, okay. Great. And can you give us a bit of understanding if your procurement is centralized or distributed amongst each division?
It's centralized. We have a centralized procurement division.
Okay, and do you use sort of a supplier database? Is there a way that one can apply individually, or is it something that you have to submit certain documentation to a specific email address?
We do have a portal where our suppliers, the service providers, register themselves, and then we vet according to what documentation that they've submitted, and then we have statuses. Sorry, it will reflect as accepted, submitted, accepted, rejected, and there will be a reason why you've been rejected based on it can be probably a missing documentation or an expired documentation. But for you to register on the portal, you have to be assigned to a specific account client. So for example, I'll use Sassol for an example. So should maybe Sassol facilities manager or people on site require or recommend this service provider for certain services, they will then send the request to procurement that there's Nomfundo Tradings, they supply these services and we recommend and require their services. and then we'll then send we'll then share the link with the AFM on site, and then they will share with the service provider. The service provider will go through the portal according to what's specified or required on the portal, and then that's when we can now vet the service provider, and then we'll then put a status accepted or rejected based on whatever that it's outstanding on the registration. And then once you are accepted, then that's when we load you or onboard you onto our database SEB. And then that's when you can now have your unique vendor number for that specific account. Should you get recommended as a preferred for SASL, that we are happy, we love the service provider, they do, they perform their services accordingly, we recommend that we keep them or use them for other clients, then we recommend the service provider to our other clients. So we can use you on various accounts, not only on one account, but that's determined by the recommendation on site.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's very in-depth information. Thank you. Do you advertise opportunities, tender opportunities, any way that, to know that there's a current need for a specific industry service that you may need?
In the interim, no, we don't. So basically how we do it is we source for tenders. So let's say, for example, there's a tender out for public works and we'd like to participate on that tender. And there are services that we don't have service providers for. Let's say, for example, a diesel supplier, I'll use that as our daily now services. So we don't have, for example, let's say we don't have that the service provider that supplies diesel. And then in that case, we then go to the market and source for the service provider. But we do have a list of service providers that we don't have them on the system, but we would like to use their services in future should we get a request for those services. Okay. So we don't let's say public tenders, but then published tenders, but we do reach out to service providers. So based on let's say for now, we'll be meeting with some of the service providers, take information, I'll share them the email address where they can submit their profiles. I guess we might have some that have already shared their profiles here, and we go through those profiles, we see your services that you render, and then you find that there's one service that we don't have on our database. Then we put that service provider on a preferred potential service provider list.
Okay, so niche service offerings as well would work in this instance. Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful. And what tips do you think you can give to SMMEs who want to do business with you?
I always say, even on our previous session, I think the last one last year was that compliance. So yeah. So I think we as CBRE, we don't have a limit as to how many projects have you been engaged or have you worked on. We don't have, but then we push the compliance mandate above all.
Okay, no, I understand. You have to have a certain level of, your clients expect a certain level from you. So you need to source according to that as well. Now I understand. And what do you think, how would SMMEs look more attractive if you take compliance, as a given? What other aspects would make an SMME look more attractive to get opportunities from CBRE?
I'd say market yourself, sell yourself, don't limit yourself. If now I've mentioned that SASL is one of our clients, go there, knock on their doors, like be that I want to be part of you guys' supplier until they give you a chance. Because with me, I'm there as a behind the scene person. So people who are there as a cast will be the people on site. Should you go, you find yourself interested in joining CBRE, just go there, drop one of your profiles, market yourself. Hi guys, I'm the service provider. I'd like to join your your database, or I'd like to render some of the services, and then yeah, so that's how I can put it. But then knock on those doors, don't limit yourself. Yes, you do engaged with Nomfundo, you shared your profile, but just put a step forward. Because I can recommend you as a service provider, but there's no need for those services. So if you go on site, you can get more details than I have, because those people on site, they know what's happening, what's in need, you see. So don't limit yourself, market yourself. That's my advice to service providers.
Thank you, Nomfundo. I think that's encouraging. And I think sometimes it's good to know that there's that opportunity to go and, say, here I am, please, do you have a need for me now? Don't forget, when the need arises, I'm still here. So I think it's always good. Thank you so much for sharing that. I just wanted to ask you if there's any other tips or tricks or anything else that you think SMMEs could benefit from, that you could share with them going forward with to gain or to get an extra insight or a foot into CBRE, if there's anything extra that you want to share.
In the interim, I don't have, but then what I can encourage is go on site, engage with those people, familiarize yourself with the people on site. Don't limit yourself that procurement are aware of my services. Just go there, just be out there. That's one I can push for the SMMEs.
Okay, thank you so much. There's a couple of questions in the chat box. I'm just gonna read. Elise Long said, how do we know who your clients are so we may request a recommendation?
I guess if you can go on our website, we do have a list of our clients there. But if there's nothing, okay, I can open my email to you guys, and then I'll drop down a list of our service, or of our clients, of our clients that you can engage with.
Okay.
Because it's quite a list I can't mention now.
I can imagine. And does CBRE have a need for architectural services now?
In the interim, with my division's facilities division, no, we don't. But I think if no, I think with the properties management, they might have they might need the services, because with facilities, we are already maintaining buildings that are already built, that are already existing. So we just handle the existing equipment on those sites. So it's not a start afresh or foundation phase kind of construction project that we deal with. So it's already built existing buildings.
Okay, no, I understand. And do you know of any IT requirements at the moment?
With IT, it's we have our in-house IT department. So now in the interim, we don't have, unless we get a request from our client that we should source for IT services. But for now, we use our in-house IT services.
Okay, thank you. Just another question. Do you have an ESD program?
In the interim, no.
Okay, is it something that you are working on?
Yeah, I'd like to believe that, but it's just a structural, it's not consolidated project as yet, but we will get there.
Okay, well, that's encouraging. Okay, so I wanted to move over, and if there's anybody else that has questions, I think it might be easier to speak with you, through, if you can unmute and switch on your camera, and you are able to ask questions. You can also raise your hand if there's someone speaking. We can maybe see if there's any additional questions that you guys have for Nomfundo. I see there are some in the chats at the moment. Electrical construction and maintenance.
Yes, for electrical we do, and I guess with electricals it's broad. So we do have more of DB boards requirements. PAT, we do have. So with electrical maintenance, yes, we do. And we do require those services for facilities.
Okay, wonderful. Building maintenance in plumbing specifically.
Yes.
Okay, great. Mahlatse Ramatapa, I apologize for that. Would you mind unmuting yourself and, asking your question to Nomfundo?
Hi, hi. Thank you for the opportunity. And hi to colleagues at large. My name is Mahlatse from Lokolabatu. Nomfundo, I just have a quick question because regarding us going to sites and trying to approach the people on the ground. I, for one, I'll speak for myself. I, for one, I had a challenge where if you go to site and you ask them about, for instance, building maintenance, your plumbing, it could either be your painting and whatsoever, etc. They would say, go back to the office. The people at the office are the ones that will actually assist you in terms of onboarding and so forth. Then you come back to you, for instance, I'll come back to you and say, Nomfundo, I went to site, the guys from site, they said I should come back to you. You are the right person to assist at this moment. So it ended up like being sort of, you go from pillar to post without really not getting assistant as such. Because I have been in your system from last year already, since our last conference at Galaga with smart procurement. So I'm not sure that are we just one of statistics to say that we have onboarded maybe 50 new SMMEs companies and nothing. I mean, we haven't got anything, and there's few more guys that I know that also they haven't got any request or so or anything from you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. Okay. I understand your frustration, Mahlatse. As I've mentioned before, that we have quite a lot of clients. So request, they differ as per client's requirements. And to be quite honest with you, hence we say for you to get onboarded, you should be assigned to a specific a client or account. We don't just onboard and then you just sit there on our database without work, as now you are already flagging that you've been onboarded, but you haven't had any requests from us. So and with the services and requirements from clients, it's not with some services it's not recurring. Like for example, with cleaning, we know that it's a monthly service. So with the technical services, it's as per request. So it's ad hoc, most of the technical services. So I do understand your frustration that you have been onboarded, but nothing, no request has came forth for you, or a recommendation or some sort. And also again, you reaching out to the people on ground on site, it's also quite a challenge. But also with procurement, it's also a challenge to then say, hey, people on site, there's Mahlatse, and this is Mahlatse's services. He'd like to render the services. And then they come back to us and say, we don't need those services, or we don't have a slot for Mahlatse to render the services. We're already using Nomfundo services, you see. So it's quite a challenge with working with people on the database that have been there, and also with the preferred service providers as per listed for per what's this people on site. Because also remember that when these accounts went live, already they had service providers. So hence I say, if you go on site, that's when you can loop in. But with me recommending, it's quite a challenge also as well. So if you can share with me and also familiarize yourself with the site people also, I guess that we can win that way. But procurement solely doing the marketing, it's quite a challenge.
I can imagine it's also quite a large amount of companies that you work with. Okay, let's move on to Nhlanhla Mkhize. Do you mind unmuting yourself and asking your question?
Hi, Pauline and Mfundo and colleagues.
Morning.
I have more of a database question for Mfundo. Since last year, I've been trying to register, and on my system, or rather on the dashboard, it shows that it says registered in systems and activated. What kind of status is that? Where am I? What's my status regarding that? Because obviously I haven't also sorry to interrupt, but I haven't received any like also invitations in terms of work that needs to be done or anything. Where am I in terms of the status as far as that is concerned?
Just a quick one, Nhlanhla. Did you receive any vendor number after getting that status on your dashboard, on the dashboard?
Yes, but that did not come automatically. It came after I'd been inquiring, and I think a colleague of yours, which I emailed, I think it was Riyadh. He then had to kind of screenshot something with that number and everything, but nothing came up, and that was last week when I asked for that. So I do have, there is a number allocated to me at the stage, but it's just that nothing is happening. It's just that nothing is happening right now.
Nothing is. Which services are you rendering? Is it technical services?
No, I'm a supplier. So we are LVM Petroleum. We supply fuel, specifically diesel for generators. So we were looking at that for most of your, some of your shopping centers. I do know some of the buildings that you guys manage. So one was looking at that in terms of, I know that we are being load shedded every now and then. So there is a need for diesel and to get into that pool of suppliers as well, and then maybe also get invited. But no, that hasn't happened. I mean, since the last you guys were last year, I think last year, yeah. From the time I started registering, it was last year, but nothing has happened.
Do you perhaps know for which account were you registered under or
Uh,
for?
not it's something it's not clear, because when I received that email, if I just look for it now from Riyadh, it just gave me my number, my
Your vendor number.
vendor number. That's it. Nothing about an account or which building or what have you.
Yes, I think that's where the problem is, because okay, now you are registered, you do have a vendor number, but for which client we don't know. And you also don't know from which client or the request, where the request came from. You're not aware, you're not clear with that. Because if let's say, for example, you are assigned under Sanlam, then the Sanlam team should be the one that contacts you for your services or request your services. But now if you are just registered and you no, not for any account or for any client, that's where the challenge becomes.
Maybe the question, Nomfundo, then is how does one get assigned to that? Is this where now you say maybe one needs to go and approach these people actively, or is it something that you guys do behind the scenes? Because I do know, for instance, you guys have the Oxford 202. And that's under what you call it's Fortress. So what do I do? Do I approach your landlord Fortress and say I want to work in your building, but it's currently managed by GHI Accelerate? Put me in. So how does it work? I think that's where the problem is. We register, but it's no one really follows through with this thing right up until the end, where one is assigned and assigned properly. So maybe that's where my question is: do I actively now go to your clients?
Yes.
And okay, no, that's fine. Okay, I get it. Thanks then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can also
Okay.
maybe outline to them that you are already on the on the portal, registered on the portal, but then
Sure.
for which account you don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But anyways, I'll make a plan. I get what this means. I'll make a plan. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Nhlanhla. Thank you, Nomfundo. So we have about 5 minutes left of Nomfundo's time. So let's try and get through. Then there's 2 more questions. So Marcus Skit, do you mind unmuting yourself and posing your question to Nomfundo?
No, what? Hi, how are you? Hi, colleagues. Hi, Nomfundo.
Hi.
I'm
Hi,
Marcus. What I wanted to know, where do we register and how these? Nhlanhla already have asked some of the questions that I wanted to ask. But what I want to know, how do we register? Where do we go to register? Are you going to be giving those details, or how do we need to go about? Can you maybe break down that one? If you are a first-time register.
On the chat box already, I've already attached the email where you can share your profiles. But in terms of registering, there has to be a request for you to register on the portal so that we can share a link with you and register on the portal. So the link will be shared by the FM on site. So they will share with you the link to register on the portal. So we vet according to what you submitted. So the status will then say accepted, registered, or rejected, and give a reason why you've been rejected. Then after the portal, after the acceptance from the portal, then we register you on our database on SAP. Then that's where you will get a vendor number that Nhlanhla already has. But then the request has to come from the people on site for you to register.
Register. Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
Marcus.
you.
Thank you.
All right, Elise, back to you.
I'm sorry about that before.
Hi, Elise.
I wanted to just understand your value add then. So if I have to go to a client and get myself registered on your database, why would I not just approach my client directly? What added value do you really add for us by registering on your database when I've really already made the groundwork at the client? I mean, you're not necessarily going to, no one's going to ask for our services, and you're not going to punt our services unless someone wants us to be on your database. Can you just let me understand the actual value then that you would be adding for us by registering and going through this process?
Okay. Elise, I'll try to break it down.
Okay.
Okay. So for you to register on our portal, first thing first, the request comes from on-site, from people on-site. So people that are based on our client site, those people are the ones that has to request for you guys to register. I mean, to be on the system. So they will share a link. That link will then link you to our portal.
I understand that part. I understand that part, right? My question is, if I've approached the client already directly, right? Why would I want to register? Why would I want to ask them to register me on your database? Because I've already got a foot in the door. I'm already talking to them. I'm already supplying services to them. Why would I ask them to add us to your database?
If you're already doing the services, then it means you're registered already on the database, because you can't perform services without being registered on our system. Then you won't get paid. Because
so
for you,
those clients don't deal with people that's not registered with you. Is that what you're saying?
The client, we are the one managing the client's facility, right? So you have to be registered on our database, not the client's database. So if you are registered on the client's database, then that means you are directly working with the client. It means your payment comes through directly from the client, not from the facilities managing company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I would have to, if I start dealing with them and I register on your database, I will get my purchase order from you and you will pay me, not the client.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So basically what they're doing is they're trying to lower the risk on SMBs and SMMEs to ensure that they getting the service and that there's someone that has vetted these clients. That's what you're actually trying to do.
Yeah. So in this
Then what is your
instance,
payment
we are the
terms?
one servicing the client. But
Yeah.
then because we don't have the capability of some services, then we outsource the SMMEs to perform the services.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yes.
And then your payment terms to the SMMEs?
Our payment terms, that one, it's a nightmare, guys. Our payment terms are reliant to what we've signed with the client, so they differs. So for example, if we've signed a 120 payment terms with a client, then that goes down also to the service providers. So what we have signed up for also also then goes down to the service providers. So that means if it's a 30-day agreement with the client, it also means with the service provider it's 30 days, because if we say we get paid in 120 and then we sign service providers in 30 days, then we'll go broke, because we won't have the money because we only get paid in 120. So if we have 30 days, then we're gonna have payment issues. So you see, so if we then sign the same agreement 120 and also with the suppliers 120, I guess it's a fair agreement on the on those terms.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elise.
All right. Unfortunately, we've run out of time for more questions. So Lahabe, I'm so sorry. Do you mind putting your question in the chat, and then we'll pose it to Nomfundo afterwards? We'll follow up with an email with some any additional questions. So if there are more questions that you have, please pop it in the chat box. Just make sure that you mention which company your questions are directed at, so that we can retrieve the correct information. But thank you so much, Nomfundo, for your time today and for enlightening us with the processes at CBRE. And we really, really appreciate it. And we will stay in touch with you if there's any additional questions. But if there's nothing else, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, a long weekend.
Long weekend. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Have
so
a
much.
warm weekend.
Yes, in bed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right. So we're going to be moving on to our next buyer for the day, Adele from AFMS Group. Adele, if you don't mind to just unmute yourself and switch off your camera so that we can see you.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Good morning, Adele. Thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
Welcome.
Can you
There
guys?
we go. Now we
Yes.
can see you.
Okay. I actually prepared a presentation. So do you mind if I share my screen?
Of course, not a problem.
Okay. Is that much better?
Perfect.
Okay. So as mentioned, I'm from a company called the AFMS group, FM Solutions. So we are a facility management solution company. So the services that we offer are technical services, soft services, extended services, business support services, as well as utility efficiency services. Unfortunately, the procurement manager, Nazette, whose picture is shown here, is currently not available. She's not well. So I am presenting on her behalf. So this is just in terms of our leadership, in terms of our directors and general managers, that it forms part of the company. I'll try and be as brief as possible so we have enough time for questions. And just a little bit in terms of our vision and mission. Our vision is to be the leading facilities management business through innovative, focused business solutions, providing sound, unsurpassed quality services. And then in terms of services, I'm just going to highlight in terms of outsourced facility management services that we offer. We look at technical services, soft services, business support services, utility efficiency services, and extended services. So in terms of outsourced services, we integrate and manage technical and office support. And we look at asset management, computer-aided facility management, call center or help desk services, health, safety, and environmental management, as well as financial management. Then in terms of your technical services, we focus on building fabric maintenance, mechanical services, electrical services, and utility services that fall under this category. And some of the technical services, just to highlight, we focus on air conditioning and ventilation, audio-visual systems, building management systems, rope access, fire suppression systems, CCTV management. So we have quite a list that we work on. And then in terms of the soft services, we provide cleaning, hygiene, and pest control services, security and guarding services, waste management services, landscaping, and horticulture, as well as catering services. In terms of business support, we offer reception management services, asset management services, distribution and logistic services, printing services, as well as fleet management services. Okay, and then in terms of the utility efficiency services, so we do utility audits and profiling, utility interventions, metering and monitoring, implementation and utility management systems, as well as alternative utilities resource procurement. So our areas of expertise is the health, retail, transport, freight and aviation, commercial and industrial, Stadia, and the government sector. Those are the industries that we have expertise and extend across. Okay, so in terms of our procurement, how our procurement services work, we do have government clients where obviously we would follow their processes, which is the triple PFA processes. So we will follow the processes according to our client requirements and their policy and procedure. And then our internal procurement processes is where we would request for proposals or tenders for any value above 500,000. We would request for quotations on RFQ for values between 100,000 and 500,000. We would require 3 quotations for values between 50,000 and 100,000. We will require 2 quotations for values up to 25,000 and 1 quote for 10 quotations up until 10,000. So we advertise our tenders and RFQs on the online and print media, which is SA Tenders Online and the local newspapers. And then some of our clients, like for example, Sanrail, we would also advertise on their websites. And then in terms of the client database, like I mentioned, we follow public sector clients. We follow their processes, which is triple PFA. Then the private sector clients, we will follow our internal criteria, which is company compliance capabilities in terms of methodology, price, and references. Okay, and then in terms of our procurement categories, so in terms of our technical services, we are mainly aiming and looking for vendors in the HVAC, air conditioning and ventilation services, building maintenance and electrical. So you can see we have a list of services, but those are our three main categories. And then in terms of soft services, our top categories are cleaning, security, services, landscaping, and horticulture. And our process in terms of vendor application. So we have introduced a new system, which is EFT Shore. For vendors that would want to apply and get onto our database, you need to send an email to procurement4@fm-solutions.co.za. So what will happen is once you send an email, a link will be sent to you to automatically log onto EFT Shore and register on our database. So the vendor compliance documents that will be required is your SANIS approved BEE certificate or an affidavit, your SARS tax PIN certificate, your COIDA certificate, your CK1 documents, proof of public liability insurance, industry specific registration documents, your CIDB grading certificate, as well as proof of banking details. So you will be required to upload all of these documents on, and we will have you on our list. But only if you are successful for an RFQ or tender, or then we will activate your account on the system, but we will have you loaded on. And then in terms of if you are, we also look at OHS compliance, which is very important. So suppliers, SMEs that want to register should ensure that the OHS Compliance Act is complied with and all of that is in place. And then if you are successful, we do have service level agreements that are drawn up, and vendors are normally assessed according to compliance, staff management, contract management, service delivery, and site specific requirements. So yes, so that's all from my side. Over to you if I've missed anything.
Thank you, Adele. That was really insightful. I think that's answered quite a few questions. But I wanted to ask you one question. What tip do you think you can give to SMMEs to make them look more attractive? What can they do to go the extra mile for them to be, the chosen SMME? Let's say that.
So from my personal experience, the way in which you compile your tender or RFQ documents stands out to procurement. So a lot of bidders that I've come across, especially SMMEs, I feel like a lot of them just try to submit documents. There's lots of documents that's left out in terms of compliance documents. I don't know if companies rush through documents, but in the way you present, it makes a difference. It's where procurement or whoever's evaluating can easily access your information, and there's dividers that you can access information. That's a starting point, because a lot of companies, especially in my experience, fall out because of missing documents. Sorry, someone says they do not hear a thing. Hey, is it just me or that person?
No, we can hear you fine.
Okay.
I'll respond to them. It's not a problem.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, in terms of presentation of documents, follow the guidelines, read through the documents and the requirements carefully, use checklists thoroughly as possible, because I find a lot of documents are not read properly and instructions are not followed properly. And that's the reason for failing, even the first round, even if your price is much cheaper, that's where you fail. So pay attention to those fine details and submit. So that's one of the advice that I can give to SMMEs, and especially to get them to where they want to be, and especially even with references. Give proper references in terms of if you're applying for a certain job, or if it's in plumbing or in renovations, try and include references that highlights those those strong points.
Okay, thank you so much. There's one question or one note in the chat box from Letlo Honolo. Says here, hi Adele, there are a minimum of 4 documents you require that most SMMEs don't have, which is the proof of public liability insurance, the COIDA certificate, and CIDB guarding. Do you maybe have some insight there?
So in terms of our company, because especially when it comes to, internally, we could look at growing and developing these companies as an internal company. But if we are following, like we do the facility management tender processes for Sandral, for example, which is a public sector, those are requirements from their side. So SMMEs, as much as you are a startup, I think those are things you can invest in. Even if you are a company that's just starting up, like an insurance, you can go and take out a cover, for example, public liability cover, which doesn't cost much. In terms of the CIDB grading, unfortunately, it will work according to the amount, the project value. So that is a requirement, but it's not for all all type of work. So there are ways to look around it and assist, because as AFMS is a company that we look at developing companies as well. But in certain situations, if we are following processes for our clients, we can't budge on that.
Understandable. Thank you. All right. So if you want to, anybody with a question, please raise your virtual hand, and then we will, make our way down the list. So I see Elise Long already has her hand up. Do you mind unmuting yourself and posing your question to Adele?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Adele. I'm sorry I occupy you guys so much. The first thing I want to do is just understand your business. So you're a facility management company. So you basically do requirements or requests on behalf of your client, right? So you will, like you mentioned, Sandra will come to you, say to you, we've got this tender, you will go post this tender on Tenders Online for instance, and then you will collect the tenders. Is that how it works?
So there's 2 parts of it. So like we mentioned, we're a facility management company. So we would, there are some companies, so we will look after the buildings and the facilities of companies, depending on what services we are awarded. Okay. And then in some instances, for example, Sandral, when they awarded us, part of the contract was to include that we run the facility management tender process for them. So not all of our clients require us to run those processes for them, but some do. So that's where we have our internal procurement team that runs the processes for them. So yes, so in terms of like Sandra, we would advertise and run the full tender process, and we will award on their behalf. So it's totally our project, but we just follow their processes. And then we have clients like, for example, State Theatre, where we would follow the processes for them, the tender or RFQ processes, but then we will send them all of the documents and the reports, and then they will do the award, and they will liaise further with the suppliers. So we have different types of scenarios.
Okay, so you will basically do evaluation on behalf of some of your clients, and other clients will do it themselves. So if you do the evaluation, will you also then issue the purchase order?
Yes.
And you will facilitate the payments?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And those payment terms is normally based on government payment terms, which is usually 30 days from invoice, or could that be worse?
That's correct.
Okay. And it will obviously comply with the requirements of small businesses to, in some cases, maybe require payment within 10 days or 15 days or things like that, right? Because that obviously increases their procurement recognition levels.
Yeah, so we do try and accommodate that, but internally, so it all depends on our client. So if it's internal, like an internal sourcing process for FM or AFMS, we will try and accommodate it as much as possible. But if it's dealing with a client, then we have to get approval from the client first, in terms of, because remember, they have to pay us first in order for us to pay the vendor. So we will have to motivate and get the approval first.
Okay, so a lot of this procurement that you do is for your own internal use as well, not just for clients.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, thank you very much, Ada.
No.
Thank you. Letlogonolo, I just wanted to check you can unmute yourself and pose your question.
Good day, everyone. It's just a follow-up on, you already answered my question on the chat, but my question is just reference to that, to say, on the link of when we upload our documents, and if SMMEs don't have a specific document, will they still be able to proceed to the next stage as regards to the steps as they upload documents? I just wanted to find that out. Thank you.
Yes, so our system, so what will happen is you will upload your documents, and the person that's responsible for the system will go and view what's outstanding, or if there's anything outstanding, and make contact with you. And then we will take it from there in terms of, so if you explain, okay, you don't have a document because you're an SMME, then yes, we will put you through and consider you for any of our tenders or RFQs.
Oh, great. Thank you. You gave the thumbs up. All right. Is there any other questions that somebody wants to ask? Lucanio, I see you unmuted yourself. Did you want to say something?
Yes, good morning, and thank you so much for the presentation and this session. I just wanted to ask if, since this is a supplier matchup and, even AFM Solutions is trying to, uplift, the SMEs. So I wanted to find out, because she has mentioned that the most stumbling block is, all these requirements and the documents that are requested. If they've got any support mechanism that they can have internally to ensure that they assist SMEs to actually, get these documents, even if it's giving them information, okay, you were falling on this, you were missing these documents, please contact this company. This company can help you with that and all that. Do they have such? Because I'm in that space, and really I realize that most SMEs, that's the first point of contact. They struggle with that to get the correct documents, Thanks.
So yes, like we mentioned, we look at empowering companies. So we do assist, and we can assist if there's any questions. And we always, in our briefing sessions, we always tell suppliers or ask them to contact us, even if it's for the littlest or the smallest thing that may seem silly, where we can guide, the process, or advise who can assist or where you can get the information. So yes, we are here to assist you, and we normally also, if you need feedback on why you were not successful, or how you could improve, we do assist, we do advise, as long as you ask.
Great. Riale Bocha, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Good morning, everybody. Yes, my question is very simple, actually. I just wanted to know, do you guys only help us SMMEs to basically deal with government tenders, or do you also look at private sector?
Sorry, can you just repeat? We only assist SMMEs in terms of the government sector, or is that your question?
Yes. Do you only deal with public tenders, or do you also look at private institutions, like your private companies, like your steel making companies, your food production companies, and them also?
We do all across all services and all types of companies.
Okay. Because I've been trying to actually apply to actually get a vendor number at this particular company in Sasso. And my only hurdle that actually I've been facing, I was told that I need to become a distributor of a specific product or a specific space that the company would actually need. So normally as SMMEs, there's no way we can actually get such accreditations, because we are still small, and because these big brands normally want companies that can at least be able to secure in a financially about $1 million or so. So hence why actually I'm even asking, especially regarding your private sector.
Yeah, so do you guys do you also look at, when you attend these briefing sessions, or get advice in terms of subcontracting? If there are bigger companies that look to subcontract, and that's how you can also develop yourself and get a little bit of cash flow and get yourself out there in the market. So especially, and even if you have to get through government first, because I know government is big in subcontracting, get through there just to build up your cash flow, and then you can move on to the private companies. So that will be one way, because of developing yourselves as well.
Okay, yes, this is definitely true. But the thing is, with private sector, normally whenever it comes to accreditations and them, with private sector, normally you must become a specialist, or you must specialize with a specific service that a company would normally give out. So normally with your government, it's just your basic things. Like myself, I'm basically an electric contractor. So whenever I do government tenders, I know I can qualify by maybe using these specific qualifications that I have. But now, if ever now I want to go into the private sector, I would now have to get an accreditation that would specifically state and certify me to be actually become a specialist. And normally to get such, you need real money, to actually attend the courses and do the trainings and get the practical. And you're talking about a couple of thousands, So hence actually I'm asking, do guys somehow have like a system or a program where actually such people like myself can actually be helped?
So maybe if you can drop that, I know we do look into those type of things, but I don't want to answer just at the top of my head. If you can, maybe the email address even that's provided, the procurement for email address, if you can send an email with that query, and we can look at it further, and then we can respond to you if there's ways we can assist. But like I said, like public sector, they are very specific. And in their requirements. So sometimes you find very little companies that are willing to assist, to get you in. So yeah, so we'll look into that further in terms of.
Okay, no, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We've come to the end of the Q&A session. I just wanted to ask you, Adele, would it be possible for us to share the presentation that you created with those that attended the meeting?
Sure, that would be perfect. So at least all of the information is on there, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. If there are any additional questions that you have for Adele, please pop them in the chat box and we'll share them with her afterwards, and then we'll share the responses with all of you. But Adele, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today and for enlightening us on AFMS's processes and what your needs are currently. I think it's very important for us, and I appreciate that. If there, is there anything else that you wanted to say? Any last words?
I'm good, thanks. That's all from my side.
Wonderful. But thank you so much, Adele. We appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a wonderful long weekend.
You too. Bye. Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Adele. Bye-bye. Okay, before everybody leaves, I would just want to let you know we're going to do a bit of a SMME engagement session. So I just wanted to go down the list, and when I call out your name, you're welcome to unmute and just in 30 seconds just say who you are and what your company does, just as a small introduction. And if there's any additional information you can share in the chat box, please do. And we'll share what information we can gather in the chat box. We'll share, with the recording afterwards. So first on my list, I see Aubrey. Aubrey, do you mind unmuting and just telling us a bit about you and your company? Okay, let's move on to Boitumelo Mkwebane. Do you mind unmuting and just giving a bit of insight into your company?
Hello, everyone. Hi, thank you, Paulina, for the opportunity. My name is Boitumelo Mkwebane. I come from Technology Infrastructure Architects. We're in IT. Our company is based in Pretoria. You can visit us on our website. It's tia-solutions.co.za. So we do ICT consulting, we do IT infrastructure. We'll help set up your IT systems when you have an office. We also do like procurement. We sell software like Microsoft and cybersecurity. We also sell like hardware for your computers, your phones. So yes, you can pop us an email on info@tia-solutions.co.za. Thank you, Padilla.
Thank you, Boitumelo. Just pop the websites and your email in the chat box, please. Aubrey, we can go back to you if you're ready. Okay, Charles Martinez, let's move on to you. Do you mind unmuting yourself? Just give us a quick insight into what your company does.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. I represent the company called Innovative Energy Projects. What we do is we do energy management nationally, but we are based in the Western Cape. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Charles. Elise Long, let's move on to you.
Hi, everyone. I represent ViewNet. We're an IT hardware reseller company. We focus on corporate clients, medium to large enterprises. We focus specifically this year on cloud storage, the alternative to AWS, which is really expensive. I mean, we can back up your complete laptop for something like 69 Rand a month. And then we look at security firewalls like Checkpoint. We concentrate on software for Microsoft Cloud's CSP solutions provider. We do migrations from on-premise to hybrid and full cloud solutions, Adobe licensing. And hey, give me a call if there's anything I've missed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elise. All right, Emmanuel Sabanda, do you mind unmuting? Just give us a quick insight to what you do.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Mandla Sibanda. I'm in construction. So more especially, I'm doing maintenance in plumbing and electrical. I also do the ceiling and painting. So yeah, if you have a stake on that division, yes, you can email us at info@manemadevelopers.co.za. Thank you.
Thank you. Just make sure you put that email address in the chat box, please.
Okay, thank you.
Fabian Denson, let's move over to you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Fabian. I run a company called Truth Solutions. We specialize in sourcing and supply of products. We also import and export. We specialize in tools and protective gear, but whatever the customer wants, we give as long as it's legal. And yeah, that's the short version.
Thank you, Fabian. Fatwa Borensa, do you mind unmuting quickly?
Hi, Paulina. How are you? Thank you so much.
Great. How are you?
I represent AZ Building and Project Management. Some of the services we offer are reactive and preventative maintenance, electrical installation, and asbestos removal as well. Just a quick one, some of our credentials, we are registered electrical contractors, accredited asbestos contractors, 4GB graded building contractors, and we're also a member of the Western Cape Construction Development Association. Yeah, I'll put in all the other information into the chat as well. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Fatwa. I just wanted to mention as well, we've put a link to a feedback form in the chat box. Please, could you complete the feedback form upon completion, and once the recording is sorted, then you will receive the recording and any of the answers to the questions in the chat box, or links or email addresses from the buyers. All right, let's move on. Gideon Kubu, do you mind unmuting quickly?
Right. Good morning, everyone. All right, Gideon Kubu from Konati Solutions. We are a predominantly electrical consulting construction company, which now are delving into the renewable space due to the opportunity that has risen. I'd like to hear what you guys have to offer or assist us with as entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much. Griselda Esterhuizen, do you mind unmuting?
Morning, Griselda from TDWC Fire Group. We're based in the Western Cape, and we are predominantly in the fire prevention sector, which means that we do the servicing of the fire extinguishers, the underground hydrants and house rails, as well as the detection services, fire detections and suppression systems. I'll put our details in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Griselda. Ina Mpe, do you mind quickly going off of mute?
Good morning. My name is Ino. My surname is Mpe. I'm from the company called Ramatzobani Developers. It's a construction and development, property development company. Currently, we are at 7 GB, just upgraded to 8 CE. No job in construction that is too small nor too big for us. Call us if you want to.
Congratulations.
Or if you want a professional contractor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ino. Jabulile Fatswane.
Thank you so much. We basically support businesses, small or large, with growth and sustainability by making sure that your compliance and your governance is intact. Compliance and governance are key in the growth and sustainability of any business. So what we do is we support with CIPC changes or services that you might need from CIPC. We assist with shareholders agreement drafting, the MOI, board charter, term reference if that's required, share certificates, the delegation of authority, or any other thing in the governance space. We assist with SARS or your tax compliance. We assist with providing HR agreements, policies, and act as outsourced service provider to support in your HR needs. We assist with your industry specifics, whether it's your corridor, your NHBRC, your CIDB, and recently with safety files. So anything that just needs compliance and or governance needs, we sit with you and design a tailor-made governance plan that is then designed to grow and keep your business sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you. I think there's a few people that might need your services. Janice van Rensburg, do you mind giving us a quick 30-second breakdown? I don't know if you've unmute. Oh, I can't see that you've, there we go.
Hi, sorry. Our director, Jennifer, will be speaking for us.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, we've got a bit of an echo. There we go. Let's try again. Is it Jennifer's?
Sorry, Genesis battery's dying. So our company's name is the King Lab Suppliers, and we supply all the kind of testing equipment that you require for your contracts, for your testing material, for all the construction industry. So we provide everything from service in the food industry, for soil industry, also service balances, glasses, beakers, but then we provide specialized equipment like multimeters, testing of sound, for example, environmental meters, all of those kind of things we can assist with. We also do on-site calibrations and repairs for force, and all those companies out there that are involved with construction. You certainly will be needing our services to help you with the supply of testing concrete and bitumen, but mostly concrete. So that's us in a nutshell. We've been going for 45 years, and we have branches in Durban and Joburg, and we deal cross-border as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Jennifer Perumal.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer. I represent River Minerals. We specialize in commodities and chemicals. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Job Capetta.
Hi guys, how are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm good. I'm on site actually.
Okay.
We mechanical and electrical engineers. We specialize in boilers, steam and steam equipment. We based in Joburg, but we work throughout the whole country. Our contact is info@jmkengineers.co.za. We are based in Centurion, Gauteng.
Thank you. Just make sure you put that email address in the chat box, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letlogonolo Mshe, do you mind sharing with us a bit about what you do?
Morning, everyone. I represent Atara Solutions. We provide visitor management solutions, trail evacuation solutions, and transport management solutions, job cutting. We automate, we make your operations paperless, and details are in the chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Lindo Kuchle, do you mind giving us your information?
Good morning, everyone. Hi, Paulina.
Morning.
I represent Naledi Technologies, which is an IT services provider. And our services include infrastructure, hardware and software, cloud services, the Internet of Things, contact center services, as well as security, data center solutions, etc. And in terms of the IT delivery services, we are an approved reseller of OEM suppliers such as Adobe, Atlassian, Cisco, Commvault, Dell, HP, Microsoft. The list goes on. So I will just leave my email on the chat, and I see there's a lot of IT service providers, so we can just get to know one another and assist each other. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time.
Thank you. And guys, just don't forget that, there's opportunities to collaborate together. So please try your best to, take all the information that we'll share with you and try and see what opportunities there are, working together as a team, or, if there's opportunities for fellow SMMEs to help you in your business, don't underestimate the value that you can get from that. Okay, let's move over to Mahlatsi Ramatapa.
Hi, everyone. Thanks again, Paulina, for the opportunity. My name is Mahlatsi from Lokolabatu. So we deal with building construction as well as building maintenance. We are currently based in Gauteng, Johannesburg in particular. So yeah, that's in a nutshell, that's what we do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Marcus Skit. Marcus, we can't hear you if you are speaking.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Marcus Kidd. We do electrical maintenance and construction. We are based in Gauteng, but we work throughout the country. We are in Florida. We do renewable energy. We do generators. We do all electrical and maintenance. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
The information, it will be on
in the chat.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Maylene Davids.
Hi there, everyone. I represent a company called Imperatech Solutions. We've been in existence for 20 years. Basically, we have, combined service that we do. We provide a full range of services such as managed services, hardware and software solutions, security, infrastructure. We're also an OEM for software solutions and software products such as Adobe, Microsoft, Office 365, all the security products as well. I will put our website on the chat as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mosima Masopoga. I hope I said that right. I'm sorry if I didn't.
Hello, Kalina and everybody. I will refer this to my boss, who's also in here, to Mr. Michael.
I'm so sorry. Your volume is a bit soft. We can't hear you. Okay, let's move on to the next person quickly. Otherwise, Mosima, if you can just put your details in the chat, please. I would appreciate that.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you, ma'am?
All right, and you, Sabine?
Good, thanks. Sorry for the audio problem that she's experiencing. I was going to speak on the company's behalf.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, at Versatile Pioneers, we are a business engineering and IT services company for B2B and B2C clients. Our corporate website is www.versatilepioneers.com, which handles consultation bookings, the presentation of our company profile, vacancies, and a link to our online store. Our upcoming e-shop is www.versatilepioneers.shop. We are certified to offer wholesale products and services for imports, exports, and clearing agent services, petroleum products like bulk diesel, aviation fuel, kerosene, etc. In relation to this presentation, our electrical engineering service offering ranges from distribution of electrical spares and equipment, certificates of compliance for electrical equipment, designs of electrical and instrumentation systems and panels, light and medium voltage turnkey projects. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nkubeko Mkizwana. Nkubeko, I'm not sure, we can't hear you. Do you mind just double checking that you've unmuted yourself? Okay, let's move on to the next person. Nomtandazo.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Our company is Poki Consulting under Poki Holdings. So we consult on energy efficiency and energy management. And also under the holdings, we've got African Utility that does supply of electrical equipment and also testing. And then also we do a bit of maintenance on electrical equipment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nonseba Ndube.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nonseba Ndube, representing Instiga Health and Safety, where we compile health and safety files, plans. We also provide a basic health and safety training, and we also do medicals. I'm based in Cape Town, Gugulethu. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Norman Watkins. Norman, if you can hear us, do you mind just unmuting? There we go.
Good morning. Yeah, no. I was just busy with something on the side. But yeah, we are a Zelno trading. We do contracts with the government in building and in on the AV side. That is your audiovisual link ups and also partially building maintenance and stuff. And then we also supply to government institutions like the Department of Health, Education, and all these other institutions, mainly, and then corporate and a little bit of domestic. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. So we've got about 8 minutes left. Let's try and fit in the last people, see how many we can get through. So try and keep it as short as you can. Queen Charlie. Queen, there we go. We can hear you now.
I'm sorry, sorry about that. My name is Queen Mjali. I am representing Hlambato Plumbers and Projects. We are a construction company, but we specialize more on plumbing and repairs like paintings, paving, yeah, and other projects anyway.
Thank you, Queen. Ria Leboga.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Releboga Tswahong. I'm actually a construction contractor. We specialize mainly with sewer works, and at the same time, we specialize with electrical equipment maintenances for your industries and everything. And now we are actually venturing into waste management. If ever you need to get hold of us, I'll simply drop our details in the chat box. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Refilwe Gava.
Morning, everyone. Thank you for the session. I represent Soapbox Films, and we make corporate, web, commercial, documentary, as well as virtual reality films and tours. So reach out if your brochures are obviously proving not to be enough. Thank you. I'll put my details in the chat.
Great. Thanks, Refilwe. Refilwe Sege.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Refilwe Sege. I work for a company named Hopiso Construction and Cleaning Services. I work along with Aubrey. The reason why he didn't call him because he was still busy on site. So what we do is maintenance, plumbing, building renovation, painting as well. We also do deep cleaning. Thank you very much. I'll put my information in the group. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Samuel Mabuchwane.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you're speaking to Samuel from THBO Trading and Projects. We are based in Roodepoort, Johannesburg. Our services include plumbing, electrical and building maintenance, also landscaping and grass cutting. Thank you. I'll drop our email on the chat box. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Shireen Govender.
Good morning, Paulina. Good morning, everyone. Shireen from Adonai Projects. We are a steel fabrication company that services the industry. We actually manufacture carbon steel, stainless steel, and general machining. We do a bit of line boring, repairs and maintenance to trailers and bulk machinery, piping. So basically we service the industry and the corporate sector. And I will also put my details on the chat. So if anyone needs my services, they're welcome to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you. Shukri Cornelius. Yeah, Shukri, if you hear us, we can't hear you.
Hi there, sorry about that. Thanks. I'm from a company called Blink Digital Marketing. We specialize in helping small and medium-sized businesses to achieve sales and growth. We actually focus on sales and growth, and we work a lot with companies that have ESG programs to help them bring those, the beneficiaries into a space of sustainability. So basically, if you need growth, if you need sales, if you need to have your name on the internet, we specialize in that, and particularly with the ESG markets. And today, for everyone who is on this call, as long as they're registered, we'll give smart procurement participants 30% off. So if anyone wants, so just for smart procurement's program, we'll give anyone that approaches us 30% off, and you just need to be registered for today.
Thank you. That's amazing. Tuli Makari. Yeah, Tuli, we don't hear you. All right, let's move on to Veronique Rosenberg.
Hi, everybody. My name is Veronique. I'm from KAD Home Improvements. We're in the construction sector, but we mainly concentrate on repairs and maintenance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Viyalwa Amsane.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Viyalwa Amsane, representing African Villas. We are a walls and floor specialist. We do construction and property maintenance, also manufacture all the wall putting. So all the property maintenance companies we get, if you need any architectural paint, are your suppliers. Thank you.
Thank you. Vuyo Gumede.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vuyo Gumede, a founder and managing director of Supplier Holdings. We do general construction and general supply. We've just ventured now into solar manufacturing, solar panels manufacturing, and also into solar plants and distributing solar power through networks. Thank you. I've put my contact details on the chat.
Great, thank you so much. Oliswa or Kuliswa, I'm not sure. I apologize if I didn't pronounce correctly. I think your volume is just a bit soft. I can't hear you. I'm sorry, Kuliswa, we can't hear you clearly. Do you mind putting the details of your company just in the chat box for us? We're almost out of time, and I just want to try. Tuli, are you there now?
I'm here, Paulina. I was having issues with my audio. How are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Tuli Makari. I'm the founder of Massmore Management. We specializes in plumbing. So we do corporate and private sector as well. And I will leave my details on the chat box. We are based in Centurion and we have an office in Gauteng, East Rand as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I just wanted to see if Aubrey is here, if you wanted to see if we could hear you now, because I know you raised your hand a bit earlier. Otherwise, if I've missed anybody, please raise your hand and we can give you one more shot before we end the session. Okay, great. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us today. I hope that the information from the SMMEs in the chat box, as well as the sessions with the buyers that we had, were insightful and encouraging. I hope that you spend this long weekend with family, celebrating Father's Day and just enjoying a long weekend. I know as small business owners, you don't have much time for rest. So I hope that you have opportunity over this weekend. And we hope that at the next session, we get to see familiar faces again. It's always nice to engage with you guys. And hopefully it will work out that we'll have an opportunity to share these details again, like what we did now. And please, we're going to close the session now, but please, if there's any last minute questions or anything that you want to put in the chat box, please do it quickly before we end the session. But thank you so much, everybody. Have a good weekend.